Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So here we have a show where there was potential, and they always do this. There's always potential to have a decent show, you know, something intriguing, something good, either building a new star or creating depth to a character. And they had that chance with Dean Ambrose tonight. Now, I'm not saying for all the people that watched the show that Ambrose should have immediately went heel at the end of the show. But here's a storyline that you could have strung along for maybe a month or so. And what you wanted to do with the final outcome would really be up to them. But at the end of the day, you know, you could have created some intrigue. You could have had people maybe coming back to see the answer to these mysteries. But there's only one problem also with that. This was one of the lowest rated shows in a very fucking long time. I mean, wow. I mean, this is the thing. Doesn't Fox look at this shit? Now, a Fox exec put out a quote recently where he was like, you know, they're just happy to have WWE because nobody watches TV on Friday nights anyway. So, basically, Fox is paying $1 billion for a filler show. So, now it kind of all comes into perspective why USA and all these other networks keep Raw and everything on. I think it's because it's like, it's good enough. It would be hard for them to find a replacement. And they know that it's like a brand that's big, that's well known. And so they're just going to put it there, especially for Fridays. But Mondays, I don't know. It's like USA has had some successful shows in the past. Why they don't try to find something to replace Raw? I mean, I guess, you know, it's just not as popular of a network as some of the others. You know, they definitely don't do big. They're a cable channel. They don't do big numbers like AMC, for example, like what they do with The Walking Dead, or, you know, paid subscription service like HBO. They don't even get big numbers for shows on there. So, whatever the case may be, I thought it was a bit entertaining how the Fox exec basically said, we don't like give a shit what they do. It's just you know, it's just something to put there on Friday night. Like, they know they're getting something that sucks. It's almost like I kind of sensed in the quote, even though it wasn't really written there, plain to see that he knows that the product sucks, but it's just more like, well, there'll be people who watch it. You know, there's a loyal audience. But you even see there is even a chunk of that audience, it gets revealed just, you know, how little of them are loyal, because, you know, they're turning it off, you know, in favor of football season and all this. So it's like they're going to be turning it off, and, you know, there's still baseball going on, right? So everybody is fucking turning off these fucking shows, because they want to watch sports, or they want to watch something better. Whatever the case may be. Anyway, we start off this show with Baron Corbin greeting Stephanie McMahon, Triple H in the limo. We start singing happy birthday to Stephanie. Stephanie's not happy with him for booking himself in a world title match, and she says it's, you know, it's time for him, you know, to get the show under control, or she's going to bring back Kurt Angle. She tells him, you know, go get partners and deal with the Shield tonight. You know, once again, it's Stephanie. It doesn't matter. Stephanie's always going to be dominant, whether it's Kurt Angle, whether it's Baron. I'm getting sick and tired of this. I long for the day that they have one of these wrestlers just put her in her fucking place already. It's the funny thing. It's a fake fucking scripted show, but she will not have anybody scripted to say anything that makes her look bad. I mean, even Triple H has looked bad at times, you know, like, had other wrestlers insult them. But with Stephanie, it's like, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to say anything to her. You know, it's like, oh, if you affect her character, you affect her in real life. What bullshit. And it's sickening because all these males on the show get castrated by this Stephanie. And, you know, you look at her like, okay. She's, you know, you don't really see her in the same vein as Vince McMahon. I know that's what they're going for, and I know McMahon probably is hoping that Stephanie could be like the ultimate successor to her. You know, I don't know what's going on. And by the way, where is Shane McMahon on SmackDown? Like, the guy is like officially fucking disappeared. You know, I don't know. You know, since, you know, introducing Paige, he's been fucking gone. He's nowhere to be found. He's the missing McMahon again. So I don't know when he'll be back. You had the Shield in the ring, you know, gloating about their championships, and then you've had, you know, it was funny. Okay, so you have Braun Strowman, Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre coming out, and like, oh my god, they really cooled off Strowman big time. Brock Lesnar is nowhere to be found. You know, we've got this big match coming up at Crown Jewel in about a month, you know. It doesn't even feel like Braun is scheduled to have a title match at all. You know, I feel like they really have officially killed Braun Strowman by teaming him up with Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. He doesn't need those guys. They're two guys way smaller than him. He doesn't need them. And after what they did at Hell in a Cell, like, you know, just getting like brutalized and manhandled by Brock Lesnar, it's like, that'd be okay if that was the one sole time that happened. But he's gotten manhandled by a lot of people on the roster so far. So the Braun Strowman character is no longer has an allure to it. I mean, to me, Braun's stock has dropped tremendously. This guy is not looking good anymore. They took their hottest, most over commodity and fucked it up. And I was thinking about doing a video. I definitely want to do a top 10, you know, video where, you know, WWE completely killed or destroyed the careers of wrestlers. And you could definitely expect Braun Strowman to be on that list. I don't want to make any spoilers for it, but there's a few choices that really ring true and really like have to be emphasized like big time, and that would be like one of them. You know, they really fucking killed Braun Strowman big time. So here, you know, it's the new little tactic of the week, the new story that they're gonna attempt to tell. Dean Ambrose, you know, is not happy being in the Shield. The Shield uses him, and that he's interested in turning on Ziggler and Braun you know, and turning on the Shield to join up with Braun Strowman and the rest of the gang. You know, where Dean Ambrose has shown any of this is beyond me. I guess he was thinking about the offer, but the thing is this. It's like, if maybe, like, there was something where maybe Dean Ambrose accidentally hit Seth with a chair, and maybe they could have told the story that Dean felt good about it deep down and something like that. But, you know, they just pull this, like, randomly out of their ass. Like, oh, we need a storyline for tonight. We haven't had one of those in a few years. Let's do this thing with Ambrose. You know, you had a good opportunity to have Ambrose turn on Seth at SummerSlam, and you could have told a good story there with Ambrose's new look, but that ain't gonna happen now. You know, so anyway, you know, that's the story. Ambrose doesn't say a word, so, you know, hey, I guess this is a story. This is the story we're gonna be telling. There hasn't been any dissension in the Shield, but, you know, we're gonna make like there is. Like seriously, like, how are we telling this story when there's no backbone to the story? To me, I look at this and I'm like, this is just bullshit. I mean, I'm happy that they're trying to tell a story. And I've said this in the past. It's like, yeah, I want storylines, but can you at least make them make sense? They shouldn't just be thrown together at total random and just like, oh, okay, even if it doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to get to that in a second, too. Because, well, let's just talk about it right now, because the next thing on the card, Finn Balor, accompanied by Bayley, and they're going to, and you know, he defeated Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. So I totally get it. It's a mixed match challenge. It's the internet. But guess what? Last year when they did the mixed match challenge, you know, it was all fine and well. It was on the internet. They barely mentioned it. It wasn't something, you know, what was it last year, or was it like at the beginning of this year? Whatever it was, but we're in season 2 now. So Bayley and Balor, you know, it's not mixed match challenge, but now it's being continued on the show. So I'll give them points for continuity. But now all of a sudden it's like, you know, we're not even explaining just, you know, how are they such best friends already? They're hugging, they're like in love, they're, you know, I don't know. I thought Bayley was a lesbian and Balor was going to be the LBGT representative. But, you know, all of a sudden, I don't know, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, they're best friends. I don't know what the case fucking is. But, you know, that shit's went out the window. We're no longer talking about that. It's now just Balor and Bayley, and they're a team. And, you know, if you don't like it, well, that's mixed match challenge for you. And Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox. I mean, this is the story they tried to tell. So, you know, he takes, you know, Ranjin Singh. He starts beating him up, you know, because he thinks that he you know, made him lose. He beats the shit out of him. He did this like a few months ago. You know, like, well, more in the few months. It was like maybe like 10 months ago. He beat down Singh. Alicia Fox was like getting crazy along with him, and then he did the Shanti thing, and they both sat down, and you know, this guy was the WWE champion. He was getting real heel heat. The Smarks complained, and they took the belt off of him. Oh my God, this company is a fucking mess. I mean, how did they just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like last year they decided we're not going to, you know, make this canon. We're not going to bring it onto the main show. All of a sudden they're on the main show. Then you've got, you know, a little promo aired somewhere in the show. Miz and Asuka, a heel and a babyface, are singing together. I mean, I think they teamed together last year as well, but holy fucking shit. You're trying to, you know, sell this storyline over on SmackDown about The Miz and Daniel Bryan and all the stuff that's going on with that, and Miz acting like a, you know, a monster heel and all that. It's you know, it doesn't add up. You see what I'm saying? It's like, what are we doing here? And Finn Balor's stock has declined exponentially. I mean, this guy is no longer on the fucking map. They had big plans for him. You know, he's, you know, warring with, you know, he's the authority figure on the show. We thought we were going to, you know, Balor was going to be in for his next push, right? He came very close to beating Roman Reigns, and here you have him in just a filler match to promote the fucking junk on Facebook. I mean, this really is a big-time mess. I mean, this mixed match challenge, it's like they're compromising their characters, and once again, they just don't give a shit. They don't fucking care what you think, like, oh man, this is messing with the continuity. At this point, this fucking company is on autopilot. They're like, no, there's no captain in the cockpit. This shit's just flying over the Pacific, and it doesn't matter if it fucking nosedives or it soars into the atmosphere. I mean, this shit is just, I mean, it's a fucking mess. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it's not good. It's really not good. The Riot Squad defeated Natalya and the Bellas. All the dirt sheet writers, all the smarks on the internet, you know, I'm a fan of him, but wrestling with regret. They're all going after Brie Bella because she hit some yes kicks on Liv Morgan and she got knocked out. So, you know, okay, Brie Bella, maybe she's got to be more careful, whatever the case may be. You know, maybe Liv was out of position for the kicks. I don't know what the case may be. Whatever it was. But this is one case from Brie. And they're giving it to her. They're laying it on super fucking thick on Brie. Brie is, you know, a bad wrestler. She's unsafe and everything like that. But when Seth Rollins ended Sting's career, almost took John Cena's nose clean off his fucking face, you know, where were their cheat riders? Where was everybody to complain about Seth Rollins being unsafe? And there's been numerous other incidents as well where Seth Rollins has hurt people, injured them. You know, we just talked about Finn Balor. You know, the first night he was scheduled to win the belt, Seth Rollins injures him with a powerbomb, recklessly, you know, throwing him into the corner. So, you know, there's a bunch of incidents right there that I'm telling you about one singular person. And they want to talk about one isolated incident with Brie Bella and blow it out of proportion. These motherfuckers are some of the most dishonest people you will find, you know, when it comes to wrestling journalism or just wrestling in general, just anything wrestling related. They're very selective when it comes to reporting shit. You know, just recently, they had a story come out, whatever it was, by, I think, Brian Alvarez. No, it was PW Insider. With, whatever the fuck his name is, Mike something. Came out with a story trying to say that Vince Russo got Bobby the Brain Heenan, you know, taken off commentary in WCW and had him replaced with Mark Madden. When Vince Russo wasn't even there. When he had already left the company for the first time and got sent home. So, you know, they're very selective about the stories that they choose. And when they do pick a story, and somebody they don't like, they take them to task. If it's somebody they favor, like Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins, yeah, I'm invincible when it comes to the dirt sheets, brother, man. I mean, you know, you can't say anything bad about this guy. I mean, you know, I guess he's as safe as it comes, right? Just ask Sting. I mean, he's oh yeah, I'm as safe as a safety pin there, brother, yeah. Yeah, we were on fire tonight when it comes to safety. Whoa, hey. I mean, there you have it, folks. I mean, he's as safe as it gets, right? But Brie Bella is unsafe, you know. Seth Rollins, you know, come on. I'm innocent, I tell you. I didn't do all those things. Sting is just fine. Just ask him. I'm the next generation. And if it takes almost killing a man, then hey, as long as we get a 5-star match from Meltzer Magoo, everything is hunky-dory. I mean, yeah, it's all about them 5-star matches, motherfuckers. I mean, that's all that matters. Fuck safety, fuck all that. But someone makes a mistake, you know, one of your favorites makes a mistake, don't even acknowledge it. You know, just say that that's just the wrestling business. You know, they put their bodies on the line. But, you know, but then when it's somebody that you don't like the Bellas, take them to task, say how unsafe they are and how they should get out of the wrestling business. Right? Classy, truthful, that's real shit right there. That right there, that's journalism right there, right? That's not yellow journalism. That's not muckraking. That's, you know, that's clear and pristine and accurate journalism. Let's all, you know, let's all give an applause to PW Insider for such pristine journalism. So Riot Squad gets the win here. Where's Ronda Rousey? I couldn't tell you. You know, they weren't there. You know, with the Bellas, right? Weren't they trying to build a story? Friends with Natalya, she's not there. So, And later on, we're going to have a match with, you know, Alexa Bliss out there and everything. And you're not going to even see, you know, Ronda Rousey. Where was she on the show? I thought she was done shooting her movie. Rousey, your big star right there. Which, what did they do with her last week? Oh, she wouldn't do anything. She was at ringside last week, right? So there you go. 2 weeks in a row of Rousey doing absolutely nothing. No plans for the Evolution pay-per-view. Right? Evolution pay-per-view. Oh, it's going to be historic, folks. Just remember that. You know, doesn't matter how the show turns out. Doesn't matter how the matches are going to be or the stories that they culminate. You know, it's just historic, folks. That's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as it's historic, that's all that fucking matters. Fuck everything else. You know, your opinion, it doesn't matter. It's all about being historic. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Yep. That's all that matters, guys. So, you know, we're all about history. We're all about that. So, then up next, it was time for Connor's Cure. So, they're not done with this yet. You know, Big Show is genuine. When Daniel Bryan got involved, he was genuine. So, you know, Stephanie and Triple H take to the ring, and they give the kids belts, which is nice. And Stephanie is there making these retarded faces. And it's like, you know what? You just had a big presentation last week. You've been doing this. It's like, it's a bit too much. It really is. Because you know how these people are. And you know how they've treated wrestlers when they've gotten injured and stuff like that. And they've tossed them to the curb. Dolph Ziggler gets a concussion. They take the belt off of him almost immediately. And you know what I'm saying? JR, they made fun of him with Bell's palsy. When he got Bell's palsy, Vince McMahon fired him. And, you know, we're all charity here. We're, you know, like every single day out of the week, look how great we are. It doesn't matter that our product is garbage. As long as we say, you know, we show you how great we are. And what a load of shit it is. I think it's nice when the wrestlers get involved with these kids. And I said I liked it, you know, when Big Show, he seemed like he was getting into it and all that. But then when you see people like Sasha Banks playing around with these kids and you think how she's treated fans and how she's acted like an absolute bitch and all that, you know, it just speaks for itself. It's phony business. It's big time phony business. So, you know, when you see this out there, it's like, it's an eye roller. It does, you know something, it does, I'm just saying it, I'm not trying to sound like a good person here on YouTube, but like a lot of these other fuck boys, but, you know, it does warm my heart seeing these kids because, you know, I've had people in my family that have had cancer and everything. It's something that, you know, they got to get to the bottom of already, and, you know, it's good when you see people with a lot of money like WWE trying to contribute and everything. To me, it seems like the guy from what was it, Hyundai, was a bit of a fucking cheapskate. $200,000? That's not a lot of money from a big company like Hyundai. I expected the fucking check to say like at least $1 million. Fucking cheap ass skate, you know, like fuck. $200,000 from Hyundai, which is like $1 billion fucking car company. I get that it's like a subsidiary of Hyundai, but it's still $200,000. They were talking about how they grant, you know, multi-million-dollar grants to research facilities, and the WWE, who has like the big one, Connor's Cure, they give them $200,000. Whatever the case may be. But the problem of all the things, you know, whatever, Triple H, I don't know how genuine he is. I can't really tell. But Stephanie McMahon making those retarded faces, those kids must be horrified of her. I mean, I can't tell you. I can't begin to tell you just how dislikable and detestable this fucking woman is. I used to like her. I liked her when she was the GM the first time around. Well, she's the commissioner now, but whatever the case may be. Fuck accuracy. When she was 2003... She was the You know, she was the GM of SmackDown. I liked when she was in the McMahon Helmsley faction. You know, all that shit was great from Stephanie. She did a good job of being a heel and standing by Triple H's side. But now that she's like this corporate figure that can't be touched, I mean, I think about how Jericho used to give her a hard time every week, and he used to be so over with the crowd. Doesn't she remember that? Doesn't she know that the crowd is not going to be behind her ass at all times? They're never going to be behind her. No one likes you! You come across as a very, very, very dislikable fucking woman. You don't come across well on TV anymore like you used to. You come across as just being this bitchy character that makes stupid faces, that's trying to act like your father, but you don't have the same level of charisma. You don't have the same presence of a Vince McMahon. You're never going to get on his level, so stop trying! But I digress. That's enough about Stephanie and her stupid faces. Connor from the Ascension defeated Chad Gable. And this is what I was saying. I don't understand how a guy that looks like Connor could be a jobber. So he wins this week. The crowd's fucking dead for it. And rightfully so, because why should they give a fuck about Bobby Roode and Chad Gable in this random ass tag team when Bobby Roode is a world title caliber wrestler? Chad Gable is talented in his own right, but he just feels kind of boring. You know what I mean? I look at Chad Gable and, you know, I see a guy with a pretty good physique for his size, and he's good in the ring, but he has a very annoying Seth Rollins-y type of voice. And, you know, I don't really see a lot of charisma coming out of this guy. I don't see much of a presence is all I'm saying. But Bobby Roode, and a guy like Connor, who's monstrous, it's like, yeah, he should be beating guys the size of Chad Gable, but no one gave a fuck here. And they're going to continue to not give a fuck, because forget about the fact that basically every crowd is horrible now, full of smarky idiots, but, you know, it's just, you're putting on a lousy product, so, you know, you're not going to get the reaction you're looking for. That's why you have these fans here. You know, they're not acting accordingly. They're bored out of their minds. Why they attend the shows is beyond me. You know, I haven't attended a wrestling show in fucking 3 years. So, you know, you can't... I watch the show or review it for the purpose of YouTube, but it's not costing me any additional money to do this. Remember that. I'm just watching the show and then talking about it on YouTube. It's not like I'm going out there spending my hard-earned money on merch. I don't buy the WWE 2K games. I haven't bought anything off a WWE shop in in more than 3 years. It's been a long time since I've really given them any of my money. The only thing I do is the network, because okay, they deserve the money for that because it's a quality product, and I won't be reviewing some of the shows off of the network. It's something I haven't done in about a year, I think. So I think it might be time to go back and do some retro reviews off of the network. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Triple H, you know, he was just in there talking about cancer patients and putting over these kids for their bravery. And here we go. It's heel Triple H saying how he's gonna, you know, he's gonna take it to the Undertaker. Like this is the thing. You can't just do this. You can't on the show. This is why the heels and shit shouldn't be involved in the charity stuff. I know that maybe some of these guys genuinely want to get involved in everything because it makes them look good, and maybe they just want to genuinely do it. When Daniel Bryan was a heel, he went, you know, and he met like Connor and stuff. I think he was still a heel at the time, wasn't he? Weren't they doing this since 2012 or something like that? Whatever the case may be, I think he was still a heel, and he was still, you know, he was like the most genuine out of the bunch. Remember, he let Connor put the he put the S lock on him and stuff like that. So, you know, it's just, but it's not good to just, when you're trying to portray a character on TV, to have like the heels there. Because why would the kids want to see the heels, right? You know, they're the kids. They may still think it's real to a point. You know, they want to see the baby faces, the characters that they like. And I'm just saying, what a juxtaposition it is with Triple H out there in one way, and then backstage, and he's completely a different way. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre beat the Revival. Nobody gave a shit here. I mean, you got the Revival that are heels. You got Ziggler and Drew that are also heels. So it's like there's nobody to root for here. There's no story to be told. It's just a random match. And the Revival have lost for like the 90th time. Guys, it is time to move on from the Revival. If they are not going to win any matches, you're going to put them in 1,000 title matches and they're going to win. If they're going to win the belts like 6 months down the line after continuously losing to get them, it's not going to have a good effect. It's just going to be a random title win. So either you give them the belts or you move on from them, because you're not doing these guys any favors. And second of all, they're not that great. Also, the thing is, I'm again watching this match. Are we really having, what's his name, Dash, or whatever the fuck his name is? He's doing a tornado DDT off of the barricade. I've also seen these guys do suicide dives. If they're trying to sell the fact that they're Tully, Blanchard and Arn Anderson and all this shit, and they're the brain busters and all this shit, and, you know, they're going to harken back to the old days of, you know, the Road Warriors and all that nonsense, then why are they doing high-flying moves? Wasn't it supposed to be no flips, just fists? Wasn't that their moniker in NXT? Well, a tornado DDT off the barricade and suicide dives are not very Tully Blanchard. They're not very Arn Anderson. They're not very Road Warriors. I mean, like, they can't even get their in-ring shit straight to match their character. This is what we're talking about here. There's no consistency. There's no sense of continuity. There's no characters. There's no anybody. There's nothing here. There's no substance at all in this fucking product. And when they try to do something, they fuck it up in a big way. So, up next, you had the Kevin Owens show and Elias. And, you know, now they're just sticking these guys together in the same segment. They're having trouble. They don't know what to do with them. They're both in a feud with Bobby Lashley now, you know, whatever the case may be. You know, Kevin Owens quits. Then he comes back at total random and he decides, oh, I'm mad at Bobby Lashley because he, you know, he injured Sami Zayn. That storyline wasn't told for a month. Sami Zayn was out. Kevin Owens was too busy with Braun Strowman to care. Didn't even mention it. All of a sudden, you know, they quit. They bring him back a week later. The next week, he then says, well, this is the reason, you know, why I quit and came back. Which doesn't make any sense. He would quit because Sami Zayn got injured by Bobby Lashley, and then he would come back. And then they say he wasn't going to be held responsible for his actions, yet he's sitting there calmly this week, not really doing anything to speak of. You know, they're just kind of jawing away. So, you know, Bobby Lashley, who did he wrestle? Was it Kevin Owens or was it Elias? I don't even fucking remember. I think it was Elias. But anyway, Owens, one of them interferes. Lio Rush is running around like a lunatic. And, well, yeah, that's basically it. So, you know, okay, I like how they're doing this with Lio Rush, like running away from the guys and being evasive. But this is not going to last for that much more. And why are they calling him a hype man? Why not just say that he's a manager? I don't know. It's like, man, like, Elias is so good. This guy's great on the mic. He's likable. Even the smarks like him. Casuals like him. Why is he not the most over guy in the company? Because the guy was getting too big. Because they don't want to have any megastars. Like, every single wrestling boom period where they make tons of fucking money and get massive exposure, it was always due to the upsurgence of new megastars, right? When you talk about the Rock and Wrestling Connection back in the 80s, where the ratings were probably even higher than the Attitude Era, you had Macho Man, you had Hulk Hogan, you had the Ultimate Warrior, you had megastars that transcended the company. Then you had the Attitude Era, where you had Mick Foley, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, D-Generation X, all these big superstars that pit them over the top. During the Ruthless Aggression Era, they lost a lot of viewers, but you still had John Cena and Batista that still stood tall among the rest of the pack. When it became the PG era, they weren't interested in having any megastars anymore. They wanted to make sure that CM Punk stayed way down. They didn't want him to get too big, you know, so they just... And it looked foolish. It really did. And it's looking really foolish now. Where you have this guy, Elias, for all intents and purposes, by his crowd reaction, he should be world champion. And I'm not going out on a limb here. I'm not speaking, you know, just like in the moment. I've said this. I mean, like, how could the guy who's getting the best crowd reaction... Everyone is bored out of their mind with AJ Styles on SmackDown. Nobody gives a shit about that, right? You know, they don't want Roman Reigns to be champion. You listen to the smarks and everything like that. Well, everybody wants him to be heel. You know, look at the crowd reception that Becky Lynch is getting when they turn him heel. Why they won't turn Roman Reigns heel is beyond me. But you have Elias, where the whole crowd is behind this guy, and you refuse to act accordingly. Because you're scared that the brand might... Oh, the brand! Oh! That the brand might be superseded by a singular individual. Wow. What a scary thought that might be. That somebody that might get over. Everybody will buy his t-shirt. Everybody will get behind him. Come from miles around to see the guy perform live. Just like it used to be. When Stone Cold came to the WWE for the first time, the Austin 316 shirts, everybody was buying them. They turned the guy, you know, into an interesting character that wasn't quite a baby face, but not really a heel anymore. And his character developed, and he became a full-blown megastar. And The Rock had the same type of character. They turned the guy heel. It became a magical occurrence. Why they don't do the same thing? Why they don't learn from their mistakes when their fucking mistakes are there on the network? You can go on the network and you can watch Raw and the pay-per-views and you can see where they've made mistakes in the past and how they've rectified said mistakes. It's just at this point in time, there's nobody around. There's no good writers. There's no good anybody to come around and produce good segments and to give advice where it's needed and change the show for the better. You have miscast characters. You got underutilized characters. You've got just a total, you know, disregard for just putting on anything entertaining or intriguing. Nia Jax, she's back again, you know, second week back. She defeats Alicia Fox. You know, she's a babyface again, which is kind of weird because it's like, you know, you had Nia Jax like as a heel, right, against Ronda Rousey, and now she's back to being a babyface again. And here, you know, and now they're really trying to put it over. Like now they don't know what to do. They messed up the heel thing already, so she's gonna be the poster girl for body positivity. She probably couldn't fit on the poster. I'm just, I'm kidding, guys. Listen, I think that Nia Jax is hot. I really do. I've said it in the past. I think that she looks really good. And I'm into thicker women. I've said this in the past. But she's a little bit too big. She needs to lose a little bit of weight. I think that she's a good talent. I think that she definitely has a look to her. And, you know, the only thing is this body positivity thing. It's just... Did they say this about Vader back in the day? Like, okay, Vader was a power lifter. I know that they used to make fun of his weight and everything like that, but, you know, did they say this back in the day about, like, Stan Hansen, which everybody loves to use as an example? Whenever I talk about Kevin Owens, everybody brings this up. What about Vader? What about Stan Hansen? And I love those two guys. And, you know, I'm like a massive Vader fan. You could go back when I did my memorial video for Vader when he passed away. You know, Vader was... You look at Vader and you look at Kevin Owens, and if you're seeing the same guy, then you need to get your eyes checked. And when it comes to Nia Jax body positivity, the problem that I have with body positivity, and I've said this in the past on this channel, is the simple fact that all that is, it's an excuse for having bad health and trying to shine a positive light on it. That's not a very good message to send, especially when you're Connor's Cure and you're all about health and wellness. If you're about health and wellness, then don't try to sell this fucking cockamamie idea that it's okay to be heavy. It's not. It's not okay to make fun of people, you know, like I'm saying. We might have fun here in a video, but Nia Jax isn't hearing this. Well, you know, if you're bullying somebody about their weight, that's a whole different beast entirely. But I'm saying you can't go out there and you can't promote this idea in magazines and in the fucking WWE, where WWE once had the bodybuilding league and all this shit. And, you know, you had guys like, you know, okay, they use steroids and stuff, so that's not very healthy. But I'm just saying, it's like, you know, when you talked about being aesthetically pleasing and everything, and like these guys like Hulk Hogan, they ate well and all that stuff, and you're gonna then turn around and like King Kong Bundy, body positivity. Can you imagine that? They would make a poster of King Kong Bundy, right? It says body positivity, right? Hashtag body positivity, right? Right? I'm sure that would have went well over back in the day. So Ronda Rousey isn't on this show at all. Trish Stratus is going to be facing Alexa Bliss. Lita's going to be facing Mickie James. None of them are here on the show to promote the matches. In the main event, it was The Shield, and they defeat Baron Corbin and his partners, the Authors of Pain. Their first big main event match, and well, they lost. Well, Corbin got pinned, but they lost here. You know, you could have put them over the Shield maybe, and you could have had a shocking win here. You know, and then at the end, Dean Ambrose is like, you know, near the entrance ramp, and he's like looking between the Shield and, you know, Braun's group, and then he just goes with the Shield. So there you go. They blew their load all in one night, in less than 3 hours. They could have strung the story along. You could have had like Dean Ambrose, like, you know, maybe like they tried to maybe put their arm around him and he could have like brushed them off and walked away, and, you know, maybe had like looked at the group at, you know, when he got to the top of the ramp, and, you know, make like he's really giving it some deep thought. No, but he's just back with the Shield already. So whoops, there goes that storyline. See you later. You know, like, what? Like, you told a story and you could have kept us in suspense for a while, but, you know, you were telling the story backstage and you were stringing it throughout the show. You were threading it throughout the show, actually. I give them credit. But then they fucked it up by giving it all away in the very fucking... right at the end of the show. What was that all about? Oh, God. Anyway, guys, there you go. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. So, that was Raw. Hope you guys all enjoyed the review. I'll see you for the SmackDown review. Subscribe to this channel. Click the bell so you get all the notifications when I post all my new videos. Guys, follow me on Twitter. I've been a bit more active on there lately. Check out all my other videos that I have posted here. And this has been your YWC champ. And I'm signing out.